Dr. Lee Minna studied the document on her screen for the fifth time. Her hands trembled as she read the Arcturus Confederation's announcement again. As Earth's leading child psychologist, she understood exactly what their words meant, even if they tried to hide it behind pleasant language. Educational Enhancement Initiative, she read aloud in her empty office. All member species children between ages 5 and 15 to attend specialized Arcturus education facilities. Full integration into galactic society. Mandatory compliance within 6 months. The message had arrived that morning. It looked friendly on the surface, like the aliens wanted to help human children learn and grow. But Minna saw the truth hidden in the carefully chosen words. Her computer beeped with an incoming call from Dr. Han Suji. Minna accepted it immediately. "Have you analyzed the proposal?" Suji asked, her face tight with concern. "Yes," Minna replied. "It's worse than we thought. I've compared their education programs to known Arcturus training methods. They don't want to teach our children. They want to change them." She shared her screen, showing detailed analysis of Arcturus education facilities. Their real purpose became clear when you knew what to look for. Special chambers for genetic optimization. Neural programming units disguised as learning pods. Behavior modification systems hidden behind friendly games. They want to remake our children, Minna explained. Change their genes. Reprogram their minds. Make them think like Arcturus citizens. How many children would this affect? Suji asked. Minna pulled up Earth's population data. Over 50 million children in that age range, counting all Earth and colony worlds. The transport ships Lieutenant Park spotted. They're coming for our children. Suji's face grew pale. Why? Why target our children? It's clever, really, Minna said, her voice bitter. They think we're primitive, remember? They probably believe they're helping us, making our next generation better. But they're also making sure our children grow up loyal to them, not us. She showed more details from her analysis. The Arcturus planned to separate children from their parents for years. They would teach them that Earth's way of life was backward, that humans needed Arcturus guidance to become truly civilized. The genetic modifications worry me most, Minna continued. They'll change our children at the most basic level, make them more like them, less like us. After a few generations, humans would be. She paused. Not really human anymore. Suji was quiet for a long moment. How long until they expect an answer? 1 week, Minna replied. Then they start collecting children from the outer colonies first. They'll reach Earth in 6 months. They think we'll just hand over our children, Suji said softly, because they think we're weak. Simple, primitive. Minna nodded. They expect us to be grateful for their help. They have no idea what humans will do to protect their children. She thought about the hidden strength humanity had kept secret for so long, the weapons they had never shown, the power they had never revealed. All of it had stayed hidden to keep peace in the galaxy. We can't let them take our children, Minna said firmly. No, Suji agreed. We can't. And we won't. She paused. Send your full analysis to the Security Council. I'm calling an emergency meeting. The time for hiding is over. As Minna prepared her report, she thought about all the children she had helped over the years. She would not let aliens change them, no matter how advanced they claimed to be. The Arcturus Confederation had made a terrible mistake. They had threatened the one thing humans would fight hardest to protect. Their children. Dr. Kang Jihai walked calmly into the Galactic Council chamber. The huge room was filled with representatives from every major alien civilization. The Arcturus delegation sat at the center, looking down at her with their usual mix of pity and superiority. Today would change everything. Honored Council, Jihai began, her voice clear and strong. I am here to respond to the Educational Enhancement Initiative. The Arcturus ambassador smiled kindly. We trust Earth will comply with this important program. It's for your children's benefit, after all. Jihai allowed herself a small smile. Actually, we have prepared a demonstration instead. She pressed a hidden button on her simple-looking tablet. Suddenly, the air above the council chamber filled with light. A massive hologram appeared, showing the space around their station. Every alien in the room gasped. Where empty space had been moments before, thousands of advanced human ships now appeared. They emerged from invisible dimensional pockets, their designs far more advanced than anything the aliens had seen before. Each ship was larger and more powerful than entire Arcturus fleets. What is this? The Arcturus ambassador demanded, standing up in shock. This is humanity's true face, Jai replied calmly. The face we have hidden for 300 years. More holograms appeared, showing hidden human bases, advanced weapons, and technology that the aliens had thought impossible. The council chamber erupted in chaos as representatives realized what they were seeing. You've been lying to us, the Arcturus ambassador shouted, pretending to be primitive. Yes, Jai agreed. We hid our true strength because we wanted peace. We showed you what you expected to see. A simple, developing race. We let you think you were helping us grow. She walked to the center of the chamber, her voice growing stronger. But now you threaten our children. You want to change them, remake them, turn them into something else. And that, we will not allow. The holograms changed again, showing more human ships appearing near every alien world. The Arcturus representatives watched in growing horror as they realized how completely they were surrounded. Impossible, one alien whispered. Your technology. It's beyond anything we have. We know, Jai said. We've known about your technology for centuries. We passed it long ago. But we kept pretending to be primitive because we didn't want to frighten you. We didn't want you to feel threatened. She looked directly at the Arcturus ambassador. But now you threaten what humans value most. Our children. Our future. So the pretense ends today. The chamber fell silent as the aliens finally understood. They had not been guiding a primitive race. They had been playing with a sleeping giant, a giant that was now fully awake. The Educational Enhancement Initiative is rejected, Jai stated firmly. Humanity will protect its children. Any attempt to force compliance will be met with the full measure of our strength, a strength you now see clearly for the first time. As the alien representatives stared at the overwhelming display of human power, Jai delivered her final message. We wanted to be your friends. We still do. But we will not be your subjects, and we will never, ever let you harm our children. The age of deception was over. Humanity had finally revealed its true face, and the galaxy would never be the same. Lieutenant Park J1 sat in her darkened office, surrounded by screens showing thousands of data points. Her eyes moved quickly over the information, watching the movement of every Arcturus ship in the galaxy. Something wasn't right. Computer, show me the fleet movements from the last 3 months, she said quietly. The main screen filled with lines and dots, each representing alien ships. At first glance, their movements looked normal. But Jai-1 had spent years studying alien behavior. She could see patterns that others might miss. There, she pointed at a group of dots. They're gathering ships near our outer colonies, but they're trying to hide it. The alien ships moved in small groups, taking different routes, acting like they were on normal patrol. But they all ended up in the same places. Jai-1 sent a message to Commander Kim Do-han. Sir, I found something concerning. Request immediate meeting. 20 minutes later, she stood in the commander's office, showing him the evidence on a secure display. Look here, she pointed to a cluster of dots. They're positioning warships near every human colony, but they're being careful, moving them slowly, a few at a time. Do-han's face grew serious. How many ships? At least 300, Jai-1 replied. Maybe more. They're hiding some of them in nebulas and asteroid fields, but our real sensors can detect them. Why? Do-han asked. Why gather so many ships near our colonies? Jai-1 pulled up more data. That's not all, sir. They're also sending what look like transport ships. Big ones, the kind that could carry thousands of passengers. She showed him the routes these transport ships were taking. They formed a web around Earth's territory, waiting just out of sight of the simple sensors that humans pretended to use. They're planning something big, Jai once said. Something they don't want us to notice. A message appeared on their screen from Dr. Han Suji. Emergency meeting called. All department heads to report to Central Command immediately. In the meeting room, Jai 1 presented her findings to Earth's leaders. She showed them how the alien ships moved, how they tried to hide their true numbers, how they positioned themselves near human worlds. They've never gathered this many ships before, she explained. Not in all the years we've been watching them. The room grew quiet as everyone understood what this meant. For centuries, humanity had pretended to be weak. They had let the Arcturus Confederation think they were simple and harmless. But now, the aliens were preparing for something. Something that required hundreds of warships and massive transport vessels. Could they have discovered our secret? Someone asked. Jai 1 shook her head. No, their ships still act carefully around our fake sensor networks. They still think we can't see them. They're planning something else. Dr. Han Suji spoke up. Whatever they're planning, we need to be ready. Lieutenant Park, keep watching them. Track every ship. Monitor every communication you can intercept. Jai 1 nodded. She would return to her screens and sensors, watching the aliens' every move. The pretense of being primitive would continue, but now they had to be extra careful. Something was coming. Something big enough that the Arcturus Confederation needed an entire battle fleet to do it. As she walked back to her office, Jai 1 thought about all the hidden weapons and ships humanity had built. She hoped they wouldn't need to use them. But for the first time in many years, she feared they might have to. The warning signs were clear. The only question was, what were the aliens planning to do? The Arcturus High Command made their decision just 6 hours after humanity's revelation. Their pride would not let them accept this humiliation. They launched their attack on human worlds, expecting to teach humanity a swift lesson. Commander Kim Do-han watched from his command center as the alien fleet approached Earth's colonies. The Arcturus ships moved in perfect formation, their weapons ready. They thought they were launching a surprise attack. They were wrong. All ships, reveal yourselves, Do-han ordered calmly. Around every human world, space itself seemed to tear open. Hidden fleets emerged from dimensional pockets that the aliens had never detected. The Arcturus ships suddenly found themselves surrounded by vessels that seemed to break all the rules of physics. Send them our message one last time, Do-han commanded. Tell them to turn back. The aliens responded by firing their weapons. Their energy beams, powerful enough to crack planets, shot toward the human ships. But the beams passed right through them, hitting nothing. Phase shields working perfectly, reported one of Do-han's officers. Their weapons cannot touch us. Do-han nodded. Show them our first level of technology. Nothing too advanced yet. Let's be gentle. Human ships moved with impossible speed. They appeared and disappeared, jumping through space in ways the aliens had never seen. Their weapons fired beams that curved around Arcturus shields like water. Within minutes, half the alien fleet found their engines disabled. How? The Arcturus admiral demanded over an open channel. How did you hide this power? We had good teachers, Do-han replied. You taught us the importance of patience, of waiting for the right moment. We learned well. More alien ships arrived, thinking numbers would help them win. They launched their strongest weapons, ancient technology that had conquered hundreds of worlds. But against humanity's hidden strength, they seemed like children throwing stones at a mountain. Second wave of ships disabled, reported Lieutenant Park Ji-1, who stood at Do-han's side. No casualties on either side. Our systems are working perfectly. That had been part of the plan. Humanity didn't want to kill. They wanted to show their strength while saving lives. Every disabled alien ship was carefully caught in gravity fields, its crew kept safe. "Your weapons cannot harm us," Doohan broadcast to the alien fleet. "Your shields cannot stop us. Please stand down. We don't want to fight." The Arcturus ships kept coming. Their pride wouldn't let them surrender. But hour after hour, they learned the truth. Humanity had not been weak. They had never been primitive. They had simply been patient. By the end of the day, the entire Arcturus attack fleet floated powerless in space. Not one human ship had been damaged. Not one alien life had been lost. The message was clear. Humanity could have destroyed them at any time, but chose not to. "Send rescue ships to help their crews," Doohan ordered. "Show them that our strength comes with mercy." As he watched human ships help their defeated enemies, Doohan thought about how long they had hidden their power. The deception had been necessary, but it felt good to finally show their true strength. Not to conquer or destroy, but to protect what mattered most. Their children would be safe now. And perhaps, after today, the galaxy would understand why humans had chosen to hide their power for so long. Commander Kim Doohan stood in the control center of Earth's largest hidden military base, deep under the Pacific Ocean. The room stretched for nearly a kilometer, filled with technology that would make the Arcturus Confederation tremble in fear. "Status report," he ordered, his voice calm and steady. "All systems running perfectly, Commander," replied his assistant. "The quantum arrays are operating at full capacity. The antimatter storage is stable. Shield systems are at maximum strength." Doohan walked along the rows of advanced computers. Each one could process more data in a second than all of the simple machines they showed to their alien visitors in a year. The walls glowed with soft blue light from the power cores that could energize an entire continent. "Show me the fleet," he said. The air in front of him filled with holographic images. Thousands of ships appeared, hidden in dimensional pockets around Earth and its colonies. Each vessel carried weapons that could split planets. Their engines could cross the galaxy in weeks, but the aliens never saw them. They only saw the slow, weak ships the humans pretended were their best. A message arrived from Dr. Han Suji. "The Arcturus inspection team has left. They still suspect nothing." Doohan smiled. He remembered when humanity first met the aliens, 300 years ago. Back then, Earth's leaders had made a wise choice. They decided to hide their true power. They knew that showing their real strength might frighten other civilizations into attacking them. "Commander," one of his officers called out, "the new phase shield tests are complete. Results are beyond expectations." Doohan walked to the testing area. Here, scientists worked on technology that seemed impossible to most alien races. They had shields that could make entire planets vanish from sight, weapons that could reach through space and time, computers that could think faster than entire alien civilizations. "Begin the daily system check," he ordered. "Make sure everything stays hidden." Across Earth and all human colonies, advanced sensors kept their technology secret. If alien ships came too close to hidden bases, they would only see empty ocean or bare rock. If they scanned for energy signatures, they would find nothing unusual. Doohan went to his private office and opened a secure channel to the military council. "Daily report. All systems nominal. Fleet status green. Weapon systems ready. Dimensional shields holding." He looked at the latest intelligence reports. The Arcturus Confederation was moving more ships near Earth's colonies. They were being careful, trying to hide their actions. But humanity's real sensors could track every move they made. "They're planning something," he muttered to himself. But what? His computer beeped with an urgent message from Lieutenant Park Ji-1. "Sir, we've detected unusual patterns in Arcturus fleet movements. They're gathering near the colony worlds. Something's different this time." Doohan felt a chill run down his spine. For centuries, humanity had maintained their act of being simple and weak. They had watched as the Arcturus Confederation tried to guide them like children. But now, something was changing. He sent orders to all fleet commanders. Maintain current positions. Stay hidden. But be ready. Looking at the vast command center around him, Duhan thought about how surprised the aliens would be if they ever saw this place. They thought humans were still learning basic space travel. They had no idea that humanity had already mastered technologies they couldn't even imagine. Keep watching, he ordered his staff. If they make one wrong move. He left the sentence unfinished. Everyone knew what would happen if the aliens ever truly threatened Earth. The game of pretend would continue. But behind the mask, humanity's real power stayed ready, waiting for the day when it might be needed. Dr. Han Sujai looked out of her office window at the stars above. From her view in the Seoul Space Center, she could see the alien ships hovering in the night sky. Their smooth silver forms reflected the city lights below. She smiled, knowing they had no idea what really lay beneath Earth's careful mask. Dr. Han, the Arcturus representatives are here for the annual technology review, her assistant said through the intercom. Send them in, she replied, quickly switching her advanced holographic display to an older, simpler model. She even added some slight flickering to make it look less perfect. 3 tall, blue-skinned aliens walked into her office. They moved with the natural grace of beings who thought themselves superior to humans. The leader, Ambassador Kelmar, spoke in the common galactic language. Dr. Han, we hope you have made some progress since last year, he said, his tone carrying a hint of mockery. Your people's technology still seems so basic. Suji bowed slightly, playing her role perfectly. We are trying our best, Ambassador. We have managed to improve our ship engines by 0.3% this year. She showed them graphs and charts on her purposefully outdated display. The aliens exchanged looks that mixed pity with amusement. They had no clue that beneath their feet, 30 levels below ground, humans were working with technology that would make their best scientists gasp in wonder. As she led them through the facility, Suji triggered hidden sensors that changed advanced equipment into simpler versions. Rooms filled with quantum computers appeared to house old-style machines. Weapons that could destroy stars looked like simple laser guns. The tour ended at the ship construction yard. Here, humans pretended to struggle with building basic space vessels. In reality, they could create ships that could cross galaxies in days. You know, Kelmar said, the Galactic Council might offer more help if you join the Arcturus Confederation properly. His words carried a hidden threat. Suji kept her face neutral, even as she thought about the real ships hidden in Earth's secret bases. We are grateful for any help the Council offers, she said humbly. After the aliens left, Suji went to her real office, hidden behind 3 layers of security. Here, advanced screens covered the walls, showing Earth's true power. Ships that could bend space itself, weapons that could reshape planets. Technology that had been hidden for centuries. Her private computer beeped. A message from Commander Kim Duhan appeared. They're moving their fleets again, closer to our colony worlds. Something big is coming. Suji felt worry creep into her mind. For 300 years, humanity had played this game. They acted weak and simple while building their strength in secret. They smiled and bowed to alien races who thought themselves superior. They accepted help from beings who looked down on them. But lately, the Arcturus Confederation had been acting strange. Their ships moved in new patterns. Their ambassadors asked different questions. They seemed too interested in Earth's younger generation. Sujai sent a message to Earth's Security Council. The facade holds, but for how long? They're planning something. We must be ready. She looked again at the alien ships above the city. They thought they were watching over a simple, developing world. They had no idea they were actually surrounded by one of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy. Let them think we're weak, Suji whispered to herself. Let them underestimate us. But if they ever threaten our people, she left the thought unfinished as she began preparing her daily report. The game would continue for now. Humanity would keep playing dumb, keep pretending, keep hiding. But they would also keep watching, keep preparing, and keep their real power ready, because someday the mask would have to come off. And when it did, the galaxy would learn why humans had chosen to hide their strength for so long. Dr. Han Suji walked through the halls of the new Galactic Assembly building on Earth. The walls gleamed with advanced materials that seemed to shift colors as she passed. 3 weeks had passed since humanity revealed its true power, and now came the hard part: rebuilding galactic society. In the main conference room, representatives from 100 alien races waited. Many looked nervous, others hopeful. The mighty Arcturus Confederation, which had ruled space for so long, now sat in the back rows. Their recent defeat had changed everything. "Welcome to Earth," Suji said to the gathered aliens. "For centuries, we let you think we were primitive. Today, we will explain why, and talk about our future together." Admiral Yoon Sang-ho stepped forward. His fleet had dismantled the Arcturus military bases without losing a single life. "We hid our strength because we saw how the strong treated the weak in this galaxy. We chose a different path." On the large screens around the room, images appeared showing how the Arcturus had treated other races: forced education programs, genetic modification of children. Countless worlds changed to match Arcturus ideas of civilization. "This ends today," Suji announced. "Every race has the right to develop in its own way, to protect its own culture, to raise its children as it chooses." Many alien representatives nodded. They had suffered under Arcturus control for generations. Now they sought a chance for freedom. "But we are not here for revenge," Suji continued. "We offer friendship to all, including the Arcturus. We will share some of our technology, especially medical and educational advances, but we will not force our ways on anyone." The Arcturus ambassador spoke up, his voice less proud than before. "How can we trust you? You hid your true nature for centuries." Suji smiled gently. "We hid our strength, not our nature. Everything you saw about human kindness, human creativity, human love for our children, that was all real. We simply kept our power hidden until we needed it." As she spoke, more human ships appeared in the sky above Earth, not as a threat, but as a reminder. Humanity would enforce peace in the galaxy, but through wisdom and patience rather than force. "We invite all races to join the new Galactic Assembly," Suji said. "As equals, no more forced changes, no more superior races telling others how to live. Together, we can build something better." The next hours were filled with discussions and questions. Many races wanted to learn from humanity. How had they advanced so quickly? How had they kept their technology hidden? But most importantly, they wanted to know what would happen next. "We will help rebuild," Admiral Yoon explained. "The Arcturus military bases will be converted to research centers. Their forced education camps will become true schools, where all cultures are respected." By the end of the day, most races had agreed to join the new assembly. Even the Arcturus, humbled by their defeat, accepted the new reality. They began to understand that humanity's long deception had actually been an act of wisdom and restraint. As the alien representatives left the conference room, Suji felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Humanity had finally revealed its strength, but they had used it exactly as they had planned: not to conquer, but to protect; not to destroy, but to build. The age of deception was over. The age of true cooperation was about to begin. Song Hae-yun stood at the front of her classroom in the new Galactic Learning Center, looking at her unique group of students. Human children sat next to young aliens from 20 different species. 1 year after humanity revealed its true power, this was the future they had fought to create. "Today," she said with a warm smile, "we're going to learn about different cultures' ways of solving problems." A small blue Arcturus child raised her hand. "Teacher Song, my parents said humans pretended to be primitive for a long time. Why did you do that?" Hae-yun looked at all the curious faces watching her. This was a question she had prepared for carefully. "We hid our strength because we wanted to make friends, not enemies. Sometimes, showing too much power too quickly can make others afraid. In the back of the classroom, Dr. Han Suji watched quietly. She had come to see how the new education program was working. Instead of the Arcturus plan to change children, this school celebrated every species' unique qualities. But humans were so strong. A young lizard-like centurion said, "You could have ruled everything. Having power isn't the same as knowing how to use it wisely," Heian explained. "Humans hid our strength until we needed it to protect something important. Our children, and now, all children." The students looked at each other, human and alien alike. They had grown up together in this new era of peace. They didn't see differences between species, only friends to learn from and play with. Outside the classroom windows, Earth's great cities stretched toward the sky. Ships from 100 worlds moved through the air, carrying visitors and traders from across the galaxy. The hidden human fleets still washed over everything, but now they protected all species equally. "Teacher Song," a human girl asked, "will we learn about the old Arcturus Education Initiative?" Heian nodded seriously. "Yes, because we must learn from the past. But we'll also learn how people can change and grow." The Arcturus learned that trying to make everyone the same was wrong. Now they help us teach others to celebrate differences. In her corner, Sujai smiled. The classroom showed everything humanity had fought for. Children learning together, each keeping their own culture while understanding others. It was better than anything they could have achieved through force. Later, after the children left for their lunch break, Heian spoke with Suji. "The parents were worried at first," Heian said. "Every species feared losing their children's culture. But now they see we can learn from each other while staying true to ourselves." Sujai looked at the empty classroom, where artwork from 20 different worlds decorated the walls. "This is why we hid our power for so long. Not for ourselves, but for them. For this future." Through the windows, they could see children of all species playing together in the schoolyard. Human students showed aliens how to play basketball. Arcturus children taught humans their floating ball games. Everyone spoke a mix of languages, learning from each other naturally. "We revealed our strength to protect our children," Heian said. "But in doing so, we protected everyone's children. And now they will grow up in a galaxy where no one has to hide who they are." The age of deception had ended. The age of true understanding had begun. And it started here, with children learning together, showing the galaxy a better way forward. Chairman Choi Ta-sung stood at the head of the long table in Earth's most secure meeting room. 50 meters underground, surrounded by quantum shields, the room held Earth's most powerful leaders. Every face showed the same mix of anger and determination. "We all know why we're here," Tai-sung said, his voice steady and firm. "The Arcturus Confederation plans to take our children. They want to change them, make them less human. We must decide how to respond." Dr. Han Sujai presented the intelligence reports first. "Their ships are in position near every human world. They expect us to obey without question, because they think we're weak." Commander Kim Do-han followed with the military assessment. "Our real forces can defeat their fleet easily. We have weapons they've never seen, defenses they can't imagine. But once we show our true power, everything changes." Lieutenant Park Ji-won added her analysis. "If we reveal ourselves, other alien races will react with fear. The Arcturus have told everyone for centuries that humans are primitive. When they learn the truth, they might think we're a threat." Dr. Lee Minna spoke last, her voice shaking slightly. "We have no choice. Their plans will destroy our children's humanity. They'll remake our next generation in their image. We cannot allow it." Tae-sung looked at each person around the table. For 300 years, humanity had hidden its true strength. They had played weak and simple while building incredible power in secret. Now they had to decide if that deception would end. "The vote is simple," he said. "Do we reveal ourselves and fight, or do we try to find another way?" One by one, the leaders voted. The result was clear. Unanimous. Humanity would hide no longer. Very well, Tai Sung said. Activate protocol. Guardian. Around the table, people began sending coded messages to hidden bases and secret facilities across human space. A plan created centuries ago started moving into action. How long until we're ready? Ta Sung asked. 24 hours, Commander Duhan replied. Our ships need time to move into position without being noticed. When we reveal ourselves, we must show our full strength immediately. Dr. Suji nodded. I'll prepare our response to their demand. We'll send it just before we show ourselves. They should know why we hid our power and why we choose to reveal it now. Tae-sung looked at the giant screen showing human space. Thousands of secret military bases began powering up. Hidden fleets prepared to emerge from their dimensional pockets. Weapons beyond alien understanding waited for the signal. Send the alert to all human worlds, he ordered. Tell our people to prepare. But carefully. The Arcturus must suspect nothing until the moment we choose. The next day would change the galaxy forever. Humanity would step out of the shadows. They would show their true strength. The Arcturus Confederation would learn why humans had hidden their power for so long, and why threatening human children was their biggest mistake. Remember, Tai Sung said to the room, we hid our strength to keep peace. We pretended to be weak because we wanted to avoid war. But now they threaten our children, and that is something humanity will never accept. As the leaders left to prepare, Tai Sung remained at the table. Tomorrow, the mask would come off. The galaxy would see humanity's real face. He hoped the aliens were ready for what they had awakened. No one threatens human children. No one.